Welcome to I'm Still Here, real conversations about living with metastatic breast cancer. I'm your host, Heather Jose. I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer at the age of 26 and have now been living with metastatic disease for over 25 years. This podcast is a space for honest conversation about what it actually looks like to live with metastatic cancer, the challenges, the realities, and the ways we continue to build meaningful lives alongside this disease. I'm really glad you're here.
Welcome back.
Boy, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We're getting rusty.
Okay. I'm just scared I'm going to screw it up. Screw up the other one.
Yeah, Larry is doing a different podcast right now. And
Not even a podcast.
oh, no, it's a whatever. Yeah. It's about football officiating, but he starts it with welcome back to I'm Still Here occasionally. So, kind of fun.
Oops.
It's been a little while since we've been on together, and it's been a couple weeks since I've put a podcast out at all. Life is a little busy right now. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of things that have happened and are happening in our lives. So the Mother's Day weekend, we started our Hatteras Little Pink trip. So I have been a retreat director at Little Pink for a couple of years now. And if you're not familiar with Little Pink Houses of Hope, it's a organization that provides free vacations for families that are dealing with breast cancer. So we had 8 families come in to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, Hatteras Island, and we just got to spend the week with them doing all sorts of things. But it was Larry's first time, so I wanted to get some of your thoughts on the whole thing.
It was awesome. It was an awesome experience for everybody, from the families to being a volunteer. I didn't really know what to expect, although I did know some of the things from you. But until, you see it or do it, you're just guessing. But I think it's a great cause. I got to see it both, from experiencing that week, but I also got to kind of see behind the scenes. And, in doing that, you get to see where the money's going, that people donate. You get to see what it equates to.
Yeah.
The experience that the families get because of you can almost, when I'm asking people for donations, I'm telling them, hey, it's going to go to a good cause. I was guessing that, just based on from what you told me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to see it and I'm like, oh, heck yes. I want to raise double next year because, it really does make a difference in these families for that week. And it's really cool experience.
Yeah, and the goal is that people can kind of take a little break from cancer. So any stage can apply. You just need to have been in treatment within the last year. What you learn when you're behind the scenes is that part of it is not just to provide a vacation, but to really provide love and support for these families in a way that just will blow them away.
Yeah, that was the thing is you got to see so many times, from the families, and we didn't even see some of the times, but you knew it was there because you had seen the houses before they did, or you had seen those kind of things, and you knew they were going to walk in and go, holy moly. And that was really, really fun. Just, it's one of those, I walked away from it going, I really want to volunteer again. Because, had to take a week off, had to get there on our own dimes, had to spend our own money to do that, had to raise money in order to volunteer. And all of these things, you're like, what? Compared to other things you volunteer for. And then you walked away going, oh, 100% worth it. Just, I totally get it now. And for them to have that week, it's just way worth it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that's kind of neat about it is that, as much as Little Pink, the organization, is fundraising, these communities that we go into just give like you could not believe to our families, be it donating unbelievable meals or donating
Houses.
spaces. We have property owners and rental companies that donate properties for these people to spend a weekend. And that's a loss of income for them or a loss of time in their really beautiful space. And it's, it's all for the intent of just making it not just okay for families, but great for families.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of my highlights this year, we had a bunch of kids between the age of kind of, I don't know, 8 to 16 or whatever, but a bunch of 10-year-olds. I feel like 10-year-olds was kind of the sweet spot. But at the end of the week, we talk about some of our highlights. And it was one of the girls who said, it's so nice to see other people who are in my shoes, like who can relate to this. And
because we can reach out on social media, just in other circles. Kids can't really do that.
No.
Oh, it's harder for that.
Yeah. Or even to talk about, even to know kind of or how to talk about it or whatever. But just to see that there were other families out there that were dealing with this, I think was a good thing.
And to give you an idea also, those kids were not spending a ton of time playing together.
No.
What they were saying was, it's just nice to see that it exists.
Yeah.
And then that can be normal. And I can see normal out of that. It's truly a week where they get to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
We provide things for them to do, but they don't have to show up to anything with the bookends.
Yeah.
Other than that, they can do whatever they want or come to everything because they don't want to plan things and that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
The kids were together a few times where they got to play for hours, and you could tell they loved it. And again, that was thanks to the donation of the perfect facility for them to play in. Just so cool.
Yeah. And there's an event, there's a time for all of the women to get together, all the people who are living with breast cancer. And then there was also a caregiver time, which I didn't go to this year. And it was kind of nice to be able to send you as a caregiver. And I also wanted the caregivers to be able to feel like they could speak freely without somebody who is living with cancer in the room.
Yeah.
And I think that was impactful as well.
Yeah. I honestly, one of the things I said at the end of the week is, dang it, we should have got together again as caregivers, because it was still early in the week and we did have some caregivers get us into some really serious topics that they wanted to discuss. And they kind of wanted to put it out there and just go, is anybody else dealing with this? Or how did you deal with this type of thing? And we got there. But there were still other caregivers that didn't say a whole lot. They did a lot of listening. Whereas towards the end of the week, if we would have had another breakfast or a lunch or something, I know there would have been more, because you just warm up to people as you spend time with them. There would have been more participation. And I think I missed out on that. And I'm not saying an official thing through the Little Pink, just to throw it out there, just go, hey guys, anybody want to meet? I'm going to be at lunch here. I think a lot of them would have taken me up on that. So
I think, every retreat is different. And I had told you that too, in terms of, this is the first retreat where families were not really getting together in their off time as much. And a lot of that was because a lot of our women just were not feeling very good. So their off time was go back to the house, recharge, for the next thing. But that's where I think more of that time to just really kind of sit down and chat about, man, what's it like for you? Or what's, this has been a struggle.
That's also something I didn't expect. I knew they were, you had said they're in treatment or within a year of treatment.
Yep.
But I didn't expect, I forgot that's what treatment is. And yeah, there were some challenges there, physical challenges, and just by being just out of treatment or having treatment right now, it brought you back home on why are we here, and good reminder for me, terrible reminder for them. But,
yeah, man, they were all just badasses because they just powered through the week. All of them did. But again, it is one of those things, and again, every group is different. So that was a group that, they were saying yes to being with their families, even at the expense, I think, of, of how they felt. Really. I don't think any of them would trade it, but I also kind of go, there are groups that I've had where people just are physically feeling better, and that allows them to interact. Maybe they're a little farther out or whatever that looks like. But overall, just I'm so glad you got to be a part of it, and it just also reaffirms, I stumbled upon this organization not because of breast cancer, actually because of writing. That's how I met the founder, Janine, and I just really, I love what they do for families, but I love also that they want to really take care of the people who are volunteering.
It was a vacation for me too.
Yeah, and that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It's meant for, my job as a retreat director is to ensure that my volunteers who are working hard are also having fun.
I got to get in the hot tub almost every night. Which that's a vacation.
Yeah, but not just that. The people in the house with us, we just had a great time with everybody.
Great volunteers, just unbelievable.
Yeah, so
truly cool people. And I miss the families. I mean, I want to know how's it going and how are they doing and those kind of things. And I got a note from two of the kids that was one of my families at the end, and it's just, it was awesome.
It's really, really cool. Yeah. So, all that to say, we're just really happy to be a part of Little Pink, and we'll continue. The downside for you is that it's kind of spring and fall, because they do a lot of their retreats kind of off season, in beach towns or whatever. So fall is out for you. But all that to say,
until they fire me.
Well,
then I'm in jail.
Larry's really looking. He's going to have a much better year this year. Anyway, so that's really cool. We are, right into summer. It kind of goes from, we went from Hatteras where it was warm enough there, but we came home. It finally started to warm up in Michigan. You're done with school, and we are full on kind of into summer, and we are less than 2 weeks away from our daughter's wedding. So
yay.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about that in terms of just what kind of a momentous occasion it is. I think, obviously for both of us, but also in terms of, when you get sick and you don't know what the future looks like, it's these moments that you're thinking about that you don't want to miss, that you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I've just been thinking a lot about that. I thought about it a lot, even like, in the process. They've been engaged for a long time, so we've had a long time to think about it and talk about it. The wedding dress shopping and that kind of stuff. But this last weekend, some of our good friends, their kids got married, and, just being a part of that makes me go, oh, wow, like this is going to be us in a few weeks. And what utter honor to be alive and able to participate in this day.
For sure. Yeah.
It's kind of, for me, it's always that balance of, would never want to make it about me, but also like it's a huge, moment for me to be there. And sometimes I look at like Sid and I think, it's just not really on her mind that I wouldn't be there. And that's been another, like a gift to our family, right? That she can go through these moments and not be like, man, what, it could have been different or
whatever. Not even a thought in her head. That was because she was young when the treatment, when you were in heavy duty treatment.
Yeah.
And she didn't know about any of the scares as we went along.
Right.
Kept her out of that stuff. So yeah, that is such a non-factor. Complete, like, I don't know, if somebody walk up to her and go, "You got any cancer in the family?" She might answer no. Like, oh wait, no, I think my mom had that.
No, she would answer yes, but that's only because it has affected her in that she has to do additional screening and that kind of thing. And she's fine with that. Even that she really handles well. It's not something that is, she doesn't go into it scared, when she does it. So I'm so thankful for her attitude about all of it, right? Her ability to just kind of live her life and not be traumatized or scared by my experience.
Are you going to talk about any of that in your speech?
I've been thinking about, I want to talk about what a moment is.
We're both
moment
doing a thank you for everybody, basically.
Oh, kind of a welcome thing.
Yeah, welcome at the
no, at the wedding.
What is? But it's
at the reception.
Reception. Okay, at the reception. So yeah, we're both going to say something.
Yeah, and I have been thinking about that, just about. I mean, to be able to stand in a room full of people that you love and that love your kid, and this is a group of people that I feel like this sounds terrible. It's not like extra family. It's not even, it's the people we care about.
It's not a big wedding.
It's not a big wedding. It's her friends who we love. It's our friends who we love. It's our families. And to be in a room with all of those people and to be able to witness the next steps.
Pretty cool.
It's yeah. So
there's no way I'm gonna be able to talk.
I cried thinking about it, honestly, but we need to get something figured out in practice so that we don't sound like complete idiots.
I was just planning on winging it.
Oh, I'm not winging it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you can wing your part or something. Yeah. But we can anyway. And I know, when I talk about those things, sometimes it makes me go, oh, should I even talk about this stuff? Because I know when I was really sick that it was how can you even think about that? Or how can you, or it seems so.
Let's try to get to kindergarten.
Well, that was the first goal.
Right. I mean, that's where we were.
Yeah. And that seemed so lofty. Yeah. So lofty. So I recognize that some of you might be in a place where you're I can't believe that you can even, I don't know. It almost seems arrogant to talk about these kind of things, to be honest. And I just hope that it's also hopeful to some of you, and that it feels.
Oh, it should be. Because that was 26 years ago. 27 years ago.
I know.
You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be arrogant anymore, because honestly, there's not a lot of you, but there's a number of you.
Yeah.
Well, or we just say people that have been living with metastatic breast cancer for over 20 years. That's a big number now. It's a big number.
Well, this is the other thing that I like, is that the number behind me is growing.
Growing huge, right?
Right. So
which wasn't the case.
Which wasn't the case.
Yeah.
It's, absolutely.
Yeah.
I am an anomaly, but I'm not as much. And I'm going to continue not to be. And that's where I just want you guys, listeners, to see, and, some things don't hit the first time. And people always ask me about what line of treatment I'm on. And I actually just responded on Instagram about this the other day about you can't really, that doesn't equate for me, because everybody in my situation 27 years ago started with chemo. There was no you guys, a lot of times now you're starting with a targeted therapy and you're calling that a line of treatment, which is great. And I'm so happy for you. But it's just a different thing. So, but all that to say, I mean, I did start with chemo and everything. I did everything. And then we did go through multiple drugs after until we found Foslodex, and Foslodex just kind of clogged and I said, no more, like we're done, you know? Um, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to see those drugs that are just the perfect fit for you, for each person. And it's so hard sometimes. Progression is so scary and so hard, but sometimes that next one is the right one, you know?
And it the science of treating people with cancer has grown year after year after year.
Yeah.
And we're looking at exponential growth now.
Yeah.
With AI. This is just the deal. Now they can plug in every person. And once we had the human genome recorded, from that point, it's a human genome with lines of treatment, with results, all that. And then you can just go feed it up. And we're not there yet. At least that's what we're told. But it's coming. And we talk about exponential treatment. Now, talk about targeted treatment. Oh, it will be very targeted. Yeah.
Well, and the thing that when you talked about that, I remember thinking, like, I just need the next drug, right? I just need the next however many months or years I can get. And I can remember thinking, I'll be damned if, like, again, Sydney says, my mom died of cancer and they find the cure, like, 5 years later, whatever that looks like. I'm like, no, I don't want to die of a disease that literally people can live through in my lifetime. Yeah. Right. So, I just hope for some of you, like my wacky brain, that is helpful to you, because like those were things that really drove me, that really were like, okay, what do I have to have right now? I just need the next answer, and what do I, what am I looking for, and how does that work? And all of those things. So all that to say, we are heading into the next few weeks with a lot of, I'm excited for it.
Biggest party of our life.
Yeah, the biggest party of our life. I was talking to it was one of my best friend's daughter got married, and I was texting her yesterday, and she's like, I'm exhausted. And I was like, but it was worth it. And she's like, so worth it. She said she felt pulled in a million directions. And I just said, I think I'm just going to be on the middle of the dance floor and people can find me. Like, I'm not going to chat with people. I just want,
for sure,
they can, of course we'll make our rounds a little bit early, but other than that, I do want to truly be in the moment of this thing. And even like, the wedding we just went to, like I spent a lot of time on the dance floor and it just was fun, and it's like, I'm not trying to please anybody else. Then I like,
100%.
Come and find me, or whatever.
I agree.
But it's just such an honor to be able to be a part of it. So after this podcast, I'm going to start airing some Sensational Survivor series podcasts for the summer. I am going to use some old ones. I'm also going to add some new ones. I have a bunch of people that I'm getting in touch with. Sometimes I'm just, sometimes those pan out and sometimes they don't. So until actually even I record them, I don't always know. But I know I have some good ones from that we did within the last year or so. And it always is wonderful to hear their stories and hope and inspiration. And I think that's just a good way to do summer. And then just last week, I recorded a podcast with a breast cancer oncologist who was amazing. And we'll kick off our season in September with that. So I hope this summer that you listen if you want, or you unplug completely if that's what's good for you. And just, are able to find some joy and, happiness in the summer. So.
Yeah.
All right.
To any of our families out there that were at Hatteras, miss you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Feel free to
awesome
Get in touch if you need to.
Yeah, please stay in touch. Without some of my other little pink, it's kind of funny. I have one little pink text group that they just go on their own like all the time. And I can't leave it because I created it and it's not all Apple. So I can't iPhone, so I can't leave it. But I just put it on mute and man, they just keep coming back around talking to each other. And I love that for them. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway. All right. Well, have a great summer. We might pop in, but we might not too. We might kind of just unplug a little bit this summer ourselves. So we'll see you later.
All good. See ya.
Thank you for listening to I'm Still Here. If this episode really resonated with you, one of the best ways you can support the podcast is by sharing it with someone else who you think would benefit from it. If you have questions or a topic you'd like to cover in future episodes, you can reach me through the contact form at www.heatherjose.com. And if you've been living with metastatic breast cancer for 10 years or more, and you would like to share your story, you can apply to be a part of the Sensational Survivors series using the link in the show notes. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.